Welcome back, everyone. Today's lesson is going to help us wrap up lesson 3.2.3 in your book, and we're focusing on practicing multiplying binomials using our generic rectangles and also something called the distributive property. I'll introduce that to you today. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. All right, the first thing I'm going to do is I want to touch base with you on a few homework problems from section 3.2.2, the review and preview, and that's what you had to do last night for homework for me. The second thing we're going to do is get some practice using generic rectangles to multiply binomials. And the last thing we'll do in this lesson is we'll learn about the distributive property. Okay, let's get started. In the last notes video from this week, I worked through the first four problems in problem 3-55 with you. So that was parts A, B, C, and D. We ended our lesson, the last lesson with that. And so what I'm going to do now is work through the last four problems with you from problem 3-55 in section 3.2.3. And it's more practice using these generic rectangles to multiply binomials. A binomial is just an algebraic expression that represents the sum or the difference of two terms, okay? So notice, like in this first one here, the 2x and the 1, those are two terms that are being added together. 2x plus 1 is considered a binomial. In the last lesson, we saw how we could use generic rectangles to help us with this multiplication. So instead of building with the algebra tiles, we cut out all the lines in the middle, separating it into the tiles, and just divide this up into four sections. Remember, the two binomials being multiplied together represents the length and the width of this generic rectangle. So maybe on one dimension, we have 2x plus 1, and on the other dimension, we also have 2x plus 1. And so now I'm just finding the area of each individual square in this rectangle. 2x times 2x gives me 4x squared. 2x times 1 gives us an area of 2x. 1 times 2x gives us an area of 2x. And 1 times 1 gives us an area of 1. That means that 2x plus 1 times 2x plus 1 is equal to 4x squared plus 4x, and I'm getting that from this block and this block added together, plus 1. Let's take a look at the next one. Here we just have two terms being multiplied together, and honestly, you don't need a generic rectangle to do this. You guys already know how to do this multiplication. Numbers with numbers, letters with letters. We can rewrite this as 2 times 4 times x times x, okay, which would be 8x squared. But if you want to represent that as a generic rectangle, you could do that. It's just a rectangle not divided into parts because each of these is a monomial. Mono means one, okay? So each of these just has one term. 2x is one of the dimensions, 4x is the other dimension. 2x times 4x is 8x squared. So we could represent that either way. Okay, you'll know if you're splitting up a side of the rectangle if there's a plus sign or a minus sign inside the parentheses. So here we'll have a rectangle that has one section on one side and two sections on the other. So in other words, it's going to look like this. And so the one side has a dimension of 2, the other one has a dimension of 3x plus 5. And in this next example here, one of the sides of the rectangle is split up into 1, 2, 3 parts. We're going to pause the video right now. I'm going to have you take a minute and try using generic rectangles to multiply out these last two, and then we'll come back together and check your work. Okay, let's multiply these out together. We've got a dimension of 2 and a dimension of 3x. 2 times 3x is 6x. and then 2 times 5 gives us 10. So 2 times 3x plus 5 is equal to 6x plus 10. And in the last one, like we said, we're going to have a rectangle that's a 1 by 3 when we split things up. One side has a dimension of y. The other one is split up into 3 parts, and it's 2x plus y plus 3. Finding the area of each individual square, y times 2x is 2xy. Y times y is y squared, and y times 3 is 3y. So y times 2x plus y plus 3 is equal to 2xy plus y squared plus 3y. Now in the next part of this lesson, I'm going to show you a little shortcut you can use when you have problems that are set up like these last two, okay? Notice these look a little different than the first two problems we worked through. We have one term outside of the parentheses and a binomial, or maybe even more, inside the parentheses. One term outside, and here we have 3 terms, or a trinomial, inside the parentheses. And look what happened when we multiplied those out, okay? If you take a look at our final answer here in the first problem, all right, we got 6x plus 10. The 6x came from taking the 2 times the 3x to get the area of that first block. And the 10 came from taking the 2 times the 5 to give us the area of the second block. We are literally taking that 2 and distributing it through to every single term in the parentheses. Take a look at the next one. The 2xy came from taking the y on the outside and multiplying it by the 2x on the inside, and that gave us the area of our first block. The y squared came from taking the y on the outside times the y on the inside, and that gave us the area of our second block. And the 3y came from taking the y on the outside, multiplying it by the 3 on the inside to give us the area of our third block. Let's take a look at some other problems that use this idea of the distributive property. The problems on this page are set up just like the last two on the last page of notes. Again, one term on the outside, 2 or more terms on the inside. We can use those generic rectangles to multiply, but we can also use the distributive property as a shortcut. What the distributive property says is when we have this setup, we take the term on the outside of the parentheses and distribute it to every single term on the inside. So we're taking that 2x and we're multiplying it by the 6x. And then we're adding on to that the 2x multiplied by the 5. Simplifying this, the first part right here, 2x times 6x gives us 12x squared. Remember, numbers with numbers, letters with letters. And the second part right here, 2x times 5, gives us plus 10x. Let's try that again over here. 6 times 4x and 6 times the 1. That would help us distribute that 6 through the parentheses. And then we'll simplify. 6 times 4x is a 24x plus 6 times 1, which is 6. And again, like I said, if you still want to use those generic rectangles, you absolutely can. Let me redo the first problem using a generic rectangle. If I'm taking 2x times 6x plus 5, when I build my generic rectangle, I'm going to have one side that has a dimension of 2x and another side that's split into 2 parts. One of them is 6x units long and the other is 5 units long. Finding the area of each individual block, I'm taking 2x times 6x. That should sound familiar. That's exactly what we did right here. 2x times 6x is 12x squared. 2x times 5, again, that should sound familiar, and that gives us 10x. So I still get 12x squared plus 10x. What I'd like you to do now is pause the video, and I would like you to try C and D on your own. Try to multiply first using the distributive property, and then verify your answer using a generic rectangle. We'll come back together and check your work in just a minute. Okay, let's check these problems together. First, using the distributive property, we would distribute the 3y to every part of this parenthesis. So we would take 3y and multiply it by 4x, and then we would add on 3y times a positive 3. 3y times 4x, numbers with numbers, letters with letters. 3 times 4 is 12. The x and the y can't be combined, so we just write it as xy. Typically, we write the letters in an expression in alphabetical order. That's why I've been putting the x first before the y. And then for the second part of this, 3y times 3 is plus 9y. If I want to verify this using a generic rectangle, I've got a rectangle that's a 1 by 2. One of the dimensions is 3y. The other side is split into two parts, 4x plus 3. Finding the area of each individual block, we have 3y times 4x, which is 12xy, which is what I got before. And then 3y times 3 is 9y. So I'm getting the same answer. And for the last one, if we distribute the 7y into the parentheses, we've got 7y times 10x plus 7y times 11y. 7y times 10x gives me 70xy plus 7y times 11y gives me 77y squared, because y times y is y squared. If I want to verify this using a generic rectangle, again, I'm making a rectangle that's a 1 by 2 in dimensions. 7y on one side, 10x and 11y on the other dimension. And now finding the area of each individual square or rectangle, 7y times 10x gives us 70xy, and 7y times 11y gives us 77y squared. So that gives you some options. If you want to still use the generic rectangles, you can. If you feel more comfortable just using the distributive property and skipping right to that shortcut, that's fine too. Okay, so to wrap up this lesson, I'd like you to practice with these 4 problems. In the first 2, you're using generic rectangles to multiply those 2 binomials together. In the last 2, if you notice, we've got things set up where we could be using the distributive property. So if you'd like to use the distributive property, you're more than welcome to. If you'd prefer to set up a generic rectangle, you can do that as well. Okay, so practice those and we'll come back together and check your work. All right, let's check these problems. First one, I'm going to set up a generic rectangle. That's a 2 by 2. Okay, so what that means is each dimension is split into 2 parts. One of the dimensions is 2x plus 1. The other one is x plus 7. Finding the area of each square, I've got 2x times x, which is 2x squared. 2x times 7, which is 7x. 1 times x, which is x, and 1 times 7, which is 7. 2x plus 1 times x plus 7 is equal to 2x squared plus 8x, I'm getting that from adding this square and this square together, plus 7. The area as a product is equal to the area as a sum. In the next one, again, I'm going to set this up as a 2 by 2 rectangle, okay, meaning each dimension is split into 2 parts. I've got 3x plus 5 on one dimension and 2x plus 2 on the other dimension. Finding the area of each individual square, I've got 3x times 2x, which is an area of 6x squared. 3x times 2, which is an area of 6x, 5 times 2x, which is an area of 10x, and 5 times 2, which is an area of 10. My area as a sum is 6x squared plus 16x, and again that comes from this block and this block being like terms, so I'm adding them together, plus 10. In these next two problems, I said you had the option of using the distributive property. I'm going to model that, okay? In this first one, we're taking 4a and distributing it to each part of the parentheses. Notice this minus sign here in the middle. That belongs with the 5c, okay? To know what the sign is on a term, you always look right before the term. The 4a is positive, the b is positive, and the 5c is negative. So we've got 4a times b. There's that minus sign, 4a times 5c. Combining things together, we've got 4ab minus 20ac. And for the last one, I'm going to distribute through to every part of the parentheses. So I'm taking 3x times 2x plus 3x times 7. And so multiplying things out, I've got 6x squared plus 21x. And of course, for these last two problems, if you wanted to set up a generic rectangle to model things, you could. This one would be 4a on one dimension and b and then a negative 5c on the other. This one would be 3x on one dimension and then 2x plus 7 on the other. And you would find that the areas of those little boxes equal the parts that we came up with ourselves for the area as a sum. And so that ends our lesson. You're going to see attached to this assignment tab your homework assignment, and I'd like you to take a picture of that work and upload it into Google Classroom so that I can see how you're doing with this. Great job this week, guys. Thanks. Email me with any questions.